Hi everyone, it's Kaz. Thank you for clicking on this video. Thank you for joining me. If you don't mind taking a deep breath with me. Alright, so today we're going to talk about something that I think really would have helped me earlier in my journey if I had a better understanding of it. And that is the experience of identifying with the ego and what that actually looks like and what's possible on the other side of that. So for me, I never belonged. My whole life growing up, I moved from place to place, middle school, high school, college, everywhere. It was different people, different places, different things I was doing. And so I never really felt like I belonged truly, fully. You know, there were groups with which I felt comfortable, but real belonging, it wasn't really there for me. The only place that I really felt like I belonged was when I was by myself playing video games at home or watching TV, doing things that I wanted to do by myself. It wasn't until I was around 15 years old and I was in my first personal development course. And at the end of the course, there was this experience where I was in a room with maybe 50, 60 other people. And I felt connected, like I didn't feel like it was me over here and everybody else over there. It felt like we were all sharing the same space. It felt like we were all connected beyond the boundaries of regular division and self. You know, before, everywhere I went in life, it was I'm here in this box and you're over there in that box and we have nothing connecting us. You're there and I'm here. And because of this way that I used to identify, I would feel really alone most of the time. And I was comfortable with being alone to an extent, but I didn't know that it was possible to not feel that way. So when I actually experienced that for the first time with other people, it was an enlightening experience. And it gave me a reference point to which I could then later look at and be like, oh yeah, that's what it felt like to be connected with people. That's what it felt like to be identified, not as this self, not as this regularly scheduled programming of emotions, of responses and thought patterns, but as this connected awareness that is unlimited. You see, in the beginning of my spiritual journey, I wasn't aware that that's what that was, but I knew that whatever that feeling was real, and I knew that I could find that feeling again. At least I had hoped that I could find that feeling again, and I chased that feeling. I would attend other seminars, I would attend other events, I would try to find that feeling in other places. But eventually I came to find that feeling within myself. Now let me take a step back here. I used to be identified with so many different things. A lot of the thought patterns that used to come up for me were thought patterns along the lines of, you know, I need a girlfriend. I need to be in a relationship with somebody so that I can experience connection. I need to eat the delicious Korean barbecue so that I could experience satisfaction and fulfillment from my food. I needed to play the video games so that I could experience the joy and excitement of playing the video games. I needed to drink the alcohol so that I could experience the freedom. I needed to smoke the weed so that I could experience the contemplation. You see, I was so reliant on all of these external resources, and I really thought that those were the things, you know, I connected the experience of consuming those things with the things themselves. And what I was missing was that everything that I did had a common denominator, which was me. I was the filter through which those things were consumed. And so when I would try to conceive of this idea of once I reach a certain state of awareness, I won't be able to do those things anymore, or, you know, these enlightened masters or these people that have achieved really intense levels of awareness, that they don't do these things, they don't have sex, they don't eat certain foods, they don't partake in certain activities. I couldn't imagine what that would be like because I had so strongly tied together the experience of doing those things with the things themselves that I couldn't imagine living a life where I couldn't do those things, because then how was I going to experience the fulfillment, the satisfaction, the joy, the pleasure? What I've come to find on my journey is that the less I identify with that old self, with that I'm over here and you're over there mentality, and the more I allow for the experience of the we're all one, that I'm seeing something that is not separate from me, that is not necessarily outside of me, but exists within the realm of my own perception and is a mirror of myself. The more I identified with that awareness of self, not the self that is becoming aware of. Let me say that again. The more I identified with the awareness that I had originally used to become aware of the self that I thought I was, the ego that I used to identify with, the less attached I became to those old necessary the less I became attached to the old methods of consumption that I used to need in order to feel certain experiences. And now I'm able to feel those experiences more as a matter of intention than as a matter of consumption. I feel those experiences through meditation. I feel those experiences through exercise. I feel those experiences through breath work. However, I had no conception of the possibility of that being a thing before, when I was identified with those things giving me the experience. And you see, it's a tricky situation because the ego never goes away. The sense of self never goes away. It exists for a reason. We develop this egoic sense of self because that's what we needed to survive up to this point. That's what our ancestors needed to run from the saber-toothed tiger. You know, we needed our fight or flight response. We needed our adrenaline to push us forward so that we could keep sprinting away from whatever threat existed outside of us. But we no longer live in that paradigm. And so when we're bringing these old paradigms into a new life, what we're really doing is we're continually living in the pattern of the old, and we're not allowing for the newness and the unfolding and the advancement of ourselves and our being and our evolution to come forth, because we're continually putting the past back into our experience of now and back into the experience of our futures. So when we are able to become aware of our egoic self, of the I am this way because this happened, of the I am separate from you, the more we're able to actually expand our experience and allow for a more beautiful experience of life. So when we cultivate awareness through our practices of intention, like meditation, like breath work, like visualization, and we just practice in a day-to-day moment, you know, like the next time there's this automatic thought response where somebody says something and it triggers a response in ourselves, when we're able to catch that and not fall into the response, rather be aware of the automatic response that would normally come up in that time, when we can supersede that, that in itself is a moment of cultivating awareness. That in itself is a moment of growth. And so the more we're able to do that, the more we develop access into a world in which we are not separate from that which we perceive. We're not separate from the outside world. We're all connected. And then when we're all connected, we're able to experience this extremely divine and beautiful and extremely powerful experience of life. You know, I've had experiences in my life that are beyond the realm of perception. I've had experiences in my life that aren't even describable, but only because I allowed myself to believe in a possibility of an experience of life that was beyond what I had experienced before and beyond whatever the egoic mind self could possibly think of. And only in that experience of the unknown was I able to truly experience the beauty that life has to offer. So thank you for clicking on this video. I hope you enjoyed. If you did enjoy, please like, subscribe, and I'll see you in the next video. Thank you.